Hey everybody, it's Lon Seidman. We're taking a look today at a USB Type-C hub designed for the iPad Pro. This is the Twopan T7 HPP, and in full disclosure, this came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. However, nobody is paying for this review and unboxing, nor is anyone reviewing it or approving it before it gets uploaded, and all of the opinions you're about to hear are my own. Now, this is your standard USB Type-C hub, so you could plug this into a computer as well. It doesn't just work with the iPad, but it's designed to sit on the iPad case here so you can get some additional port replication. So what ports do you get? You get a USB 3 port here. You get HDMI out. You've got two card readers, a full-size SD card reader and a micro SD card reader. You've got a USB-C output here and a headphone jack, which is lacking, of course, on the iPad Pro. And I'm guessing that you will want to keep this thing on all the time for that, although the audio circuitry is probably inside of this and not sounding all that great. Now I want to take a pause here and look at case compatibility. So I, of course, have the Apple keyboard case here, and the dock will not fit on the iPad with the keyboard case attached unless you take out this spacer that attaches itself magnetically to the dock here. So when this is in, this is what you would use with a bare iPad Pro. And if you take it out, it'll now work with the keyboard attached. And when I was first shooting this video, I didn't realize that that spacer was in there. But as you can see here, it attaches and we can still keep the keyboard on. And what's nice is that even when I close the case up here, it will put the iPad to sleep still. In fact, as I was walking around with it, it felt pretty much the same as it did before. And then, of course, it will wake itself up when we open it back up again. So if you are having trouble with your keyboard case, take a look and make sure that this little thing is out. Otherwise, it won't fit. However, there will be issues with third-party cases. This seems to be something that might only work with something really thin, like one of the Apple official cases. And the remainder of the review will be shot with my iPad on a stand because I shot most of this before I realized that spacer was there. So enjoy the rest of the review. The hub is not all that heavy, but it does impact the balance of the iPad. So right now, as I'm holding it this way, it definitely feels heavier towards the top. So it does change some of the perfect balance that they have achieved with their engineering with the iPad itself. But it does connect pretty easily with the USB-C connector, and it's not going anywhere. It sticks on really pretty sturdily there. So let's get this thing on the stand here. The first thing I'm going to try is the HDMI on it, which I am hoping is right there. It is right there. Now, when you do have it in your stand like I do here, your USB port is covered up, so you might want to just kind of flip it around this way to get all the ports accessible. But we'll do, just for the sake of convenience, is just put it back in this position here. So I've just connected the HDMI, and let's see if the HDMI port works. Yep, sure enough, we've got the HDMI functioning, so that is good. I think what I'll do next is take out an SD card and pop it in the slot here, and let's see if it shows up on the cards or the file app here. The card does stick out quite a bit, so be aware of that. And I'm just going to load up the Files app now and see if we can get that going there. So we'll go over to Untitled, and there we go. We've got my card is readable, so that's good. All right, next we're going to try another card here at the same time to see if it can read two at once. So we've got this SanDisk micro SD card that we're going to stick in the micro SD card slot here. And I'm going to try to get at it in a way in which you can see me actually inserting it. I think it actually goes all the way in here. Oh, it does. Look at that. So that's something you could leave attached there all the time, as I almost fall out of my chair here. And it looks like that card is coming up here as well. So I've got some videos that we can play back on here real quick from a prior review. There we go. You can see me talking. And then if I switch back, you can see the HDMI is still functioning while we've got two cards in here. So that's a good sign. Let's plug in some more stuff and see what else it works with. All right, now we're going to try a keyboard and trackpad combo with its USB dongle. This is like the equivalent of plugging a keyboard in. I did flip this around so that I could get access to the USB port here on the top. So we're going to plug that in and then switch on the keyboard. And if you were watching my video the other day, you can now use your mouse, as you can see, on this trackpad even, with your iPad. So that seems to be working just fine. So that's working, and maybe I will go in and check out some websites or something and see if we can get that to work. So I'm just going to clear off this screen here and go to, I don't know, we'll go to my website here, and the keyboard seems to work as well. So all good on that front. We got more stuff to plug in though. Let's check that out. All right, so I attached audio to the headphone jack, and now we're going to play a song off the SD card and see how that sounds. So it's not bad. I did hook up some headphones before to see how it sounded, and it's not as good as what you would get out of a more high-end audio component, but if you are lacking a headphone jack and want one, you've got it on here and you can get that to work. One last thing to check out, and that is the USB Type-C port on here. I'm finding that you can connect power to that port to charge the device. So if I plug in a USB-C power source here, you'll see that the charging light lights up. Another cool thing is that you can connect up USB-C peripherals. Let's plug in an Ethernet device right now and see if that works. All right, so we've got ourselves a USB-C to Ethernet adapter here, and what we're going to do is just plug it in to the port here and see what happens. So we're going to connect it up to the USB-C port on the hub here and see what transpires after that. So we've got Ethernet now showing up, and if I go over to that device in a second or two, we should see an IP address here flow in. Yep, there we go. So we are now on the network with a hardwired connection through the hub's USB-C connection there. So you can have both a keyboard and mouse and some other USB device connected. But the USB-C port on the hub is either power delivery or data, but not both at the same time. So although we could get some data devices working through this, if you have power also, power doesn't work. So here's one of these little USB-C hubs that gives you the USB port and the HDMI out and power delivery. If I plug my power cable into that and connect the hub to the hub, we get nothing here for power delivery once my camera refocuses. So it looks as though you can power your device through the port, but it has to be a power-only device. You can't have something that delivers power and data at the same time. So overall, it's a pretty good solution, I think, especially now that I found the little spacer here that I had to take out so I could use it with the case that I usually have on my iPad. It's not the most elegant solution because you do have this cable hanging off here, but it does give you the option to use the dock with a PC if you wanted to as well. So there's sometimes a little bit of a benefit to having something that's less than elegant. I would just be careful when you put it on to make sure that there's no dust on the screen here when you do it, because it's possible you could scratch the screen a little bit given how tight the fit is of the dock itself. But you do get a lot of useful ports out of this. It kind of extends the functionality of the iPad as a computer. And if you were looking to get some additional ports to your iPad, this is a pretty portable way to do it. But really, any USB Type-C hub will deliver the same results. You just won't be able to attach it to the side like you can here. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon Seidman. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold-level supporters, the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, Rick Vestudo, Chris Allegretta, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.